Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, it is another Thursday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Happy Thursday morning, 7:02. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on said Thursday. And we are just over 48 hours from kicking off the brand new college football season. Don't forget, coming up on Saturday, you get such games as Austin Peay in Western Kentucky, Nebraska Northwestern, the mighty UNLV Running Rebels versus Idaho State, Illinois, Wyoming, Florida State, Duquesne. And you get Vanderbilt in Hawaii. And in case you are wondering, we are exactly 1 week away from kicking off more college football. Tennessee will get their season started against Ball State. UAB will get their season started against Alabama A&M in 1 week. So the start of the college football season is fastly approaching, as is another week of high school football. In a little over 24 hours, we'll have another week. Well, actually, we'll have some tonight. We'll have some high school football being played tonight across the state. And then a big night tomorrow night. Everybody back on the field tomorrow night. There were teams that played jamborees in week 0. Everybody, and I mean everybody, on the field tomorrow night for week 1 of the high school football season. Should be another good night. Alabama back on the practice fields yesterday. 2-hour workout, full pads, indoors. Tide getting it done. 17th workout in a series of what will be 27 before they get on the field for Utah State. Head coach Nick Saban, he seemed, coach-like after practice. Coach-like, you think?
Well, I thought, he seemed relatively pleased with the progress of his team. I mean, certainly, I think everybody's getting tired of hitting each other and would like to play a game, but it's still a ways away. You've got about a week and a half before you take the field. September the 3rd against Utah State and Blake Anderson. Ironically, Utah State's going to take the field this Saturday, and so they'll get a little bit of a jump on Alabama as they take to the field in their season opener. And I know there'll be a lot of eyes in Tuscaloosa on that game. That'll be interesting. But again, he had some heady things to say about Jordan Battle, and Battle is back. He certainly got a little nicked up last week in practice, but luckily for Alabama, it wasn't a severe ankle injury, so he's back to. He was in black in the scrimmage, but back to working with the group, and certainly, they asked him about the progress of the offensive line, and I think one of the telling things that we saw yesterday is Kendall Randolph spoke to the media, probably for the first time in his career, and that means, I think, when Nick Saban puts you in front of the media, A, he trusts you, and B, you're going to be a prominent member of the football team. So I definitely think him running first team at left guard, as we have reported, is true. He's going to start the first game. And then also, when you look at it, he had Jalen Moody speak to the media. Moody is a guy that came back out of the transfer portal, had a couple of sacks in the scrimmage Saturday. I think he's going to start next to Henry To'oTo'o at the will linebacker. But it's interesting because Coach Saban talked about having 3 linebackers, and really the other guys kind of still swimming inside. I think the third one would be Deontay Lawson, who saw some time with the ones, from what we understand, during the red zone defense with the first unit. So it's going to be interesting, but I think so far they've avoided the big injuries. And if they can stay healthy, I think they're a very dangerous football team. But it's like Coach Saban said, they're still trying to get guys to sustain. Sounded like they started off really quick yesterday, playing fast and practicing hard, and then hit a little bit of a lull toward the end. And so it kind of frustrated him a little bit. But again, like he's also said, fall camp is drudgery. It's hard. People that have played the game, such as our Patriarch West neighbors, probably the worst thing they hate is spring practice and fall camp. The games you love, everything like that, but practice in football is drudgery.
Because
it's
that's all
no
you
fun.
do is you're practicing, and you're seeing the same people, the same things,
Right.
the same thing over and over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, it just you need that break. Here's a little bit of Coach Saban.
I do think we made significant improvement in a lot of areas, but still the question remains, can you complete a simple task on a consistent basis so that you can play winning football? And that's the question that a lot of players have to answer, especially, some of the backup players, the less experienced players who are getting plenty of reps now, but they have to take advantage of the opportunity. And, it comes down to what I said last year. You've got to prepare yourself so when you get a chance to play, you can take advantage of that because you are ready to play, rather than focusing on too many other things. You control what you say, what you think, and what you do. And what somebody else does, what somebody else says, what somebody else thinks really doesn't matter. So it's important to stay focused and keep the main thing, especially at this point in time, because right now we got to start deciding, all right, who are we going to coach, who are we going to bring along, who are we going to play on special teams, how many guys can we travel with, what's their role going to be. And guys have had lots of opportunity to find that. So hopefully we'll get more and more guys that are ready to play winning football so that we have more depth on the team, because we definitely need that to get through the kind of schedule, the kind of difficult challenges that we're going to have in the future. But other than that, nothing else to really report. We continue this week to work on other opponents who do different things, and we'll do a little bit on the first game tomorrow, but really not really start on that till Friday, full metal jacket.
A little bit of Coach Saban there as the team progresses in getting ready towards Utah State.
Yeah, May opening is Jim Mora Jr. in UConn at home.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one there. All right, so getting down to it, this is going to be something right here. First take yesterday. Chris Russo, Stephen A. Smith. Stupidity, I guess, from Chris Russo. Here we go.
Well,
Is Saban the best college coach ever?
No. Great coach. Best ever?
Best ever.
No. What? Best ever. You could go to Alabama with the players he has and coach and win some more.
What?
Best
you're
coach
saying
ever?
Nick Saban is not the best coach ever in college football?
No.
Oh, my God.
He's in Alabama. That's an easy place.
How was Alabama before he got there?
Well, how about Gene
Wait, don't give me
Stallings? He won a
Gene
championship.
Stallings.
He won a championship.
Gene Stallings.
He won a championship. He won the title.
You gonna bring up Shula next? When you gonna bring up next?
No, I won't bring up
Really?
Shula. That's Shula.
Really? Oh my God.
But
Oh my
Stallings,
Lord.
that's
Oh
another
my
one. You brought up
goodness.
Shula. Funny. Stallings, I'll tell you the best coach in the history of college football.
Okay.
You ready?
No, I'm not.
I'm not going to.
I'm
Don't look at me that way. You're on my team.
I know I am, but I'm nervous about what's about to happen.
It's not Newt Rockney.
Okay.
It's not, it's not Frank. It's not Leary. Frank Leary.
Yeah.
It's not Bear Bryant. It's not Pop Warner.
Okay.
At Old Carlisle with Jim Thorpe.
Okay.
It's not Alonzo Stagg.
Oh,
it's not
my
Walter
Lord.
Camp.
Okay.
Remember Walter Camp?
Yeah, of course.
It's
Walter
not him.
Camp Award, yeah.
The best coach, in my opinion, for my money, in the history of college football, is Ara Parsegian.
Oh, my God. Oh.
What's so funny?
Can I have some years on
Oh,
that?
my Lord.
Can I what?
Oh, my
Just
God.
years. Yeah, just dates.
1964.
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
Yeah,
1976.
I wasn't so familiar.
Okay.
I mean, I do
At
recognize an
Notre Dame.
Armenian last name,
Okay.
but that's about it.
Killed Bear Bryant, who won at Northwestern before that, who replaced our good buddy Woody Hayes
Yeah.
at Miami of Ohio, won there,
Yeah.
who got to Notre Dame and they were a disaster
Yeah.
and did nothing but win. At Alabama, you win, and everybody wants to go to Alabama.
So
I can coach those players that so good.
You can coach the players because Nick Saban went and got them. Are you forgetting that? When they come in Alabama before he got there? No. Is recruiting a part of coaching in college football? Yes. Yes. You look at Parsegian. I'm looking at him right now. He's 3-2 in 5 bowl bowl games. He had 2 undefeated seasons, 11-0 in 1973. He was 9-0-1 in 1966.
What championships both those years?
Excuse me. I'm looking at Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl. That's what I'm looking at. I don't know. It was before I was born. Bottom line is this. I'm going to tell you this. When I think about Bear Bryant, I think about that dominance. You want to throw Parsegian in there? Fine. We could do that. Nobody has been Nick Saban.
Chris Russo.
As I said when I tweeted at Chris Russo yesterday, stick to baseball. I left off the clown part, but I probably shouldn't have. He just needs to stick to baseball, work for the MLB network, whatever the hell he does, because he doesn't know a damn thing about college football. Ara Parsegian was a great coach during his time.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you a couple things. 1973, they got damn lucky to beat Alabama. Okay? They had a horseshoe up their rear end. Never should have won that game. They played 10 times, they lost 9. They won once. It was a fluke. Okay? A fluke. And then let me tell you something else, too. 1966, he basically played for a tie against Michigan State. Okay? That's why he was 9-0-1. He played for a tie instead of trying to win the game. Alabama went 11-0 that year after the bowl game, beat the bejesus out of Nebraska. Coach Bryant probably thought that was his best team. Alabama should have won their 3rd straight national championship, 64, 65, and then 66. And they've written a book. It's called The Missing Ring. And I'm telling you, Alabama should have won that national championship. But the media, a bunch of meathead morons, even back then, who thought Notre Dame was the only team that played football. And because they didn't want Alabama to win 3 straight because Coach Bryant was dominant, they screwed Alabama out of the national championship. Okay? Ara Parsegian was a great coach. Was he? And of course, now then they'll say, well, Coach Bryant never beat him because Coach Bryant never beat Notre Dame. Coach Bryant had some really bad luck against the Irish. That's why it's been so enjoyable to watch Nick Saban beat the piss out of them every time he gets to play them. I've said this on this show before. My father grew up during that time period. He hated Notre Dame because that's all everybody ever talked about, and because Alabama couldn't beat them. And of course, my father likes it when Alabama wins the Iron Bowl and beats Tennessee. But I don't think I think probably the most satisfaction he's gotten during the Nick Saban era is watching Alabama maul Notre Dame a couple of times, because that's all the country ever talked about back in those days.
Right.
And now Alabama has left their program in the dust. Left their program in the dust. Left their program in the dust. That's exactly what they've done, to repeat it over and over. Notre Dame doesn't even compare to Alabama. There's no HD TV, brother, the last time they won anything. So, okay, you can go find a leprechaun, you can go find Newt Rockney, you can go find Leahy, and it's Leahy, moron. Leahy! And Ara Parsegian, yeah, he was in the Rudy movie, that's great. Yep. And that was a great moment. I think Ara was a good man, but I'm sorry, he ain't Nick Saban. Nick Saban's recruited that entire roster. Alabama was completely mediocre when he got there. Hadn't won a championship since 1992. Like I said, Russo, stick to baseball, you freaking clown. You don't know anything about college football. None of you Yankees know anything about it. So shut up. The SEC rules the world, and they always will. So stick it where the sun don't shine, you clowns. Next question.
Afraid to ask. Ara Parsegian, by the way, his record at Northwestern, 36-35-1. He was only a game over 500 at Northwestern. Nick Saban was well above that. If you kind of go back at
everywhere
LSU,
he's been.
And then Michigan State, he was better. The only good
he
time,
went 9-2 at Toledo.
39-6-1 was his record at Miami, Parsegian, and then he was 95-17-4 at Notre Dame for an overall coaching record of 170-58-6. That was Ara Parsegian's career coaching record.
And I mean, again, he's one of the great
Good coach, yes.
in Notre Dame history, but the greatest ever. I knew it as soon as Russo started saying he wasn't the greatest ever. I was like, okay, Russo, which Notre Dame coach are you going to say was the greatest ever? You idiot Yankee. That's the first thing that I thought to myself, because you don't know anything about collegiate sports, period. Because everybody up there is focused on professional sports. That's just the way it is. That's all they worry about. They don't even realize college football season has started because they're too busy arguing about who sucks worse, the Giants or the Jets. That's all they're talking about. Or is Tom Brady going to win another Super Bowl? Is Bill Belichick the greatest ever? They don't even talk college football because they don't know what the hell it's about. That's the problem. At least Stephen A. Smith pays attention. I mean, and again, he's a guy, but he actually went to college in the South, so at least he knows. But, I mean, good grief. I mean, you're just not paying attention if you say Ara Parseghian is the greatest coach of all time. I mean, he didn't even have the staying power of Coach Bryant. And, I mean, and I know Coach Bryant didn't beat Notre Dame, but he won more championships than Ara did. And, again, he should have won another one in 66. Alabama got totally jobbed by biased media. That's just like Paul Hornung winning the Heisman Trophy on a team with a losing record at Notre Dame. Why does that happen? Because the media, a lot of them, are moronic. And they slanted everything to the North. They didn't give the South any respect. But that's why it's so enjoyable to watch the SEC dominate and to watch the Little Ten and to watch, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's bragging about thinking they're going to get $75 million out of NBC. Hey, that's great. You can get $75 million and never win anything. That's awesome, man. And the Big Ten, they're going to pay all their teams $100 million. They got, I guess 16 teams lined up now. They're bragging. Kevin Warren's talking about we're getting $100 million a team. That's great. Yeah. You're going to get $100 million to finish second because you ain't winning anything, pal. Strap it up. Come bring it. We're going to whip your ass all over the field every year. You got no shot. You understand me? No shot. We're going to dominate your rear end. So bring it on.
Arizona Jay with us on the phone lines. By the way, 256-576-4977. You can get in on the conversation this morning. Good morning, Arizona
Bobby Bowden
Jay.
was a better coach than Ara Parseghian.
Oh, I'll agree with that. I'll say that. I'll agree with there. Yes.
I was going to stop for a coffee, but I don't think I need that now listening to Drew. I mean, I just rolled out of bed and it's like, here we go. But you know what? I woke up this morning and I clicked on a little First Take, whatever, and yeah, I saw the blabbermouth talking to really. I think they're paid to give idiotic statements like this because it gets me and you talking, and it's so moronic. Yeah, it does make you angry, and it's like, why do people get paid? Like, how do you call yourself a professional and you're saying, giving unprofessional takes like that? That's not even a professional take. And the name that the dude mentioned, I mean, it was like crickets for me. I was like, who the hell is that?
Well, he could have went. He could have went with Bobby Bowden. He could have went with Tom Osborne. He could have went with Pop Warner.
He skipped over all of that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's not the fact that I'm not sitting up here trying to, shed light on how much of a moron this guy is. I'm saying they're paid. ESPN is paying these dudes to get on TV and do this because it gets ratings. Because you know what? Everybody's going to be like, man, did you hear what this idiot said yesterday on First Take? And everybody's going to go to their phones, and it's going to be instant clickbait, and we're all going to be talking about it. And Drew's going to, I hope he got blood pressure pills sitting next to him.
Took my last one this morning.
Oh, man, dude, yeah.
Or at least I'm about
to. Get him a shot. Just give him a little shot. Mix it with some NyQuil or whatever so it'll calm him down, you know what I mean? But I feel his pain. It's like, how, we got, local, radio and sports guys that make way more sense than these $1 million national dudes. Even on the radio, it's like, they can't even, if me and you disagree on something, you guys sit there and go toe-to-toe with me. And not like, I think Arizona Jay hung up. And I'm sitting right on the phone like, come on, bro, you just running. And a lot of these national people are like that, and it's like, and it's like there's people that feed off of that. It's like meat, bone, and gristle for them. Some people are addicted to that stuff. But it's a shame people get called professionals for making takes like that.
Yeah. No, and I think, part of me believes that they say it sometimes just to get the rise, but I honestly, truly believe that Chris Russo believes that Ara Parseghian is the best head coach of all time.
Come on, you see the smirk on that dude's face the whole time he was saying that. He knows he didn't believe what he was saying. That's his stick. Yeah, I'm tired of guys with a stick getting paid to make uneducated takes like that. I mean, we're not dummies, but down there in the South, we know football way more than your big tuna, fat neck, whatever big mouth, whatever single chested people up there is talking about. It's like, come on, man, shut up with that.
All right, Arizona James. Thanks for the phone call, bud.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. And Tom Abraham had a little bit in there in his Unleashed thing. Harder to win a national champ because you look at Nick Saban now winning him in the poll era or winning him in the playoff / BCS era. Ara Parseghian, Tom Osborne, Bobby Bowden, winning them all in the poll era. Harder to win national titles in the poll era or the playoff / BCS era?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I think it's harder when you have to win a playoff because you have to go out and win it on the field because,
right.
Good Lord, you had the media just handing you stuff, back
in
times,
the in the
those
poll
days.
era, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had Notre Dame. They again, Paul Hornung won the Heisman Trophy on a losing team. How does that happen? That would never happen today. It would only happen at Notre Dame, okay? Because they think Notre Dame is the be-all, end-all. That is insulting. Even as good as Paul Hornung was and a Hall of Fame player, there's no way in hell he deserved to win the Heisman Trophy on a
right.
team that sucked.
Right.
And they did suck, okay? I'm sorry. Just kind of and Notre Dame has actually had a pretty good last decade. I mean, I heard I was looking at some craning company stuff on Instagram, and they had some fool that covers Notre Dame on there talking about how he was glad Brian Kelly left. He should have left in 20. He could never get them ready for big games, and he'd never win big at LSU because he has no ties to the South. And I'm thinking, my knuckles are okay now, but I'm thinking,
No.
Did Nick Saban ever coach in the South before he went to LSU? No, he certainly did not. How did he do? How's he done since he got to the South? Pretty good. Did Les Miles have any ties to the South before he went to LSU? No. How did he do? Pretty good.
And I know you're not a real fan of him because he torches every program, but Urban Meyer didn't have any ties to the South when he came from Utah to Florida.
He certainly didn't, and he won 2 at Florida.
Yeah.
And how many did he win at Ohio State? 1, because he got lucky. Period, end of story. And that's the last time the Little 10 won one. And hopefully it will be for 50 years.
All right.
Stick it, sucks. That's all I'm saying.
We got to get a break in. When we come back, we're going to calm it down because we're going to talk to David Lloyd. High school football talk.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got to wreck in Decatur, Sixton Church. Actually, it's closer to Sixton Wilson. It's northbound at the approach to the Tennessee River Bridge, and it looks like they're moving all the traffic over to the left as you get past it. It is an injury time. And Madison Fire's checking Anytime Fitness on Slaughter Road. Got a report of smoke in the building there. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. This Friday, you can get $50 worth of Bad Daddy goodness for just $25 with our zone deals. Log on 977ESPN.com to get your zone deal before they're gone.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet and Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet and Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Bailey Custom Boats. We knew our boats were special when we would stop at any outdoor store to stock up on supplies for a boat trip, only to come back out to the parking lot and see people standing on and around our boat and a confused sales rep telling them it's not for sale and they don't even have that type of boat. Fast forward a few years, and now you can buy your very own one-of-a-kind Bailey Custom Boat. We hand cut our wood from cypress we pull from the river in Mississippi. There's a lifetime warranty on the bill. Faster and more maneuverable like a ski boat, and better fuel mileage than any pontoon on the market. With 350 horsepower, a Bailey Custom Boat will go 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. And our custom boats are Coast Guard approved for offshore and virtually unsinkable. We'll be showcasing our custom boats at different lakes over the next few weeks. Find out where at BaileyCustomBoats.com, on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We're taking orders now for 2023 delivery from April to May. You gotta pay to play. BaileyCustomBoats.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We're going to pause the enlightening college football conversation that we have had so far. We got more to unravel with everything there, believe it or not. We're going to pause all of that because we're going to talk some high school football, because coming up tomorrow night, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, we'll have a trio of games for you once again. On 97.7 over the airwaves, you'll be able to hear Buckhorn as they get ready for their second game of the season. And then you can download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. You can press Zone 2 to listen to Madison Academy football. You can press Zone 3 to listen to Randolph football. You can press Zone 3 to listen to Randolph take on Madison Academy, or you can press Zone 2 to listen to Madison Academy take on Randolph. Yeah, we're going all in on this.
I think you're confusing people.
Well, I will. It's confusing us here because we've got 4 people from the same building at the same game.
Yeah, it's going to be a unique
because the
challenge.
worlds have allied. Yeah, Madison Academy is taking on Randolph, or Randolph is taking on Madison Academy. However you want to look at it, you'll be able to hear it right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And you'll be there as well Steve Moulton and and the whole gaggle of everybody. But anyway, it should be a good night.
It should be. My good compatriot and play-by-play guy Austin Coletti and I will be on the call. We really enjoyed our time at West Morgan. Not the result, but certainly the hospitality of Drew Phillips and all the good folks over in Trinity. But we hope to see the Randolph Raiders get their first win this coming Friday night at 7 o'clock. And this is a non-region contest because Madison Academy moving down to 3A, Randolph staying in 4A, but they still decided to play one another. It's good for the communities, two programs that have very high expectations, two programs that certainly didn't expect to come into this game 0-1. But both are and looking for their first win. And the head football coach of the Randolph Raiders, David Lloyd, has been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, welcome back to ESPN 97.7 The Zone's Talking Ball. You're Drew and Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? You were seemed a little fired up on that last segment, man.
Yeah, not the biggest Notre Dame fan that ever lived, especially when I have to relive 1973 and 1966. My dad told me all the stories. I wasn't born until 75, so I've seen the highlights. I've relived it with my father, and certainly there's a lot of bitterness there. But again, we know what Nick Saban's done. I mean, I know what Chris Russo said. I'm not even sure he half believes it. I think he was just trying to get a rise out of everyone. But if he does, he doesn't need to be talking about college football. And certainly, we're glad to be talking high school football with you, Coach.
Coach, he's available for pregame speeches and halftime motivationals as well.
I may have to book him for one of those.
Well, Coach, I got to say too, it was a, and what I mean by this, and I mean this in a positive way, it was a strange game last Friday night because for 8 out of 10 plays, offensively and defensively, your football team I thought played really well. You outgained your opponent by 150, 200 yards. I'm guesstimating there. But it's kind of, I go back to something that you and I had a conversation about before game one. You said you were still a little worried about the red zone offense, and then you were worried about giving up big plays defensively and in the kicking game, and that's really what won the game for West Morgan.
Right, and like you said, we had some opportunities, and we didn't take advantage of. We missed a couple of deep balls that could have ended up in the end zone for us.
Oh yeah.
Gave up a big run that got a touchdown. Gave up a kick return for a touchdown. Could have. We were in the game. Could have easily went the other way, but that's why you play on Friday nights. You got to take advantage of the opportunities you get. We didn't. West Morgan did. They're a very good football team. They're a well-coached football team. Coach Phillips done a phenomenal job with those guys. They're going to be a playoff team. And they were exactly who we thought they were going to be, a tough physical football team that wasn't going to lay down. They were going to play hard for quarters. So hats off to them. They played hard for quarters. They took advantage of the opportunities they had. We got to correct some things moving forward, but we're really excited about the potential of our team and how good we think we can be, and that's why you want to play those tough games early is to get you prepared for a region and hopefully get you prepared for a playoff run.
Yeah, and that's the thing about last Friday night. I know you look at some of the scores from around some of the teams, and you're like, oh my goodness, this team came up short, this team, did that. It wasn't a region game, so it was a game for you to learn about yourself, learn about your team, and make those improvements heading into week 2, where week 2 usually you do see the most improvement.
Right, and that's the thing. That's what we talked about this week. Is we just want to keep getting better every week. We want to be playing our best football and correct some mistakes, take advantage of opportunities that hopefully we're going to get tomorrow night. We got another really good football team coming in, and kind of like you said, nobody's expectation was for both of these teams to be 0-1 coming into this game. As hard as these guys are going to play on both sides of the football, somebody's going to have to be 0-2 when this week's over. Neither of us want to beat us, so we're just prepared to play as hard as we can and put the best product on the field and get prepared for our season.
Well, Coach, when you went back and watched the film, you already mentioned that you guys were just inches away from a couple of huge big plays in the passing game early. You were maybe a missed tackle away from preventing a touchdown on a long delayed draw. When they had the kickoff return, if you make a tackle there. So really, it came down to 4 or 5 plays. What did you see that you really liked, and what do you think is the biggest areas you need to work on?
Just being able to finish drives, finish plays. Offensively, we got down inside the 5-yard line right before halftime. We couldn't put any points on the board. We get a third down stop. We end up getting a penalty defensively that gives them a fresh set of downs that they score on. The long run comes on a third down play. We're able to get off the field. Just making sure we're playing our technique and doing the things we need to do in the kickoff game and covering things. And then do our best to make sure we don't kick it to their best player. That probably would have helped a lot. 21 is a really good player. We shouldn't have kicked at the ball. It's like you said, 4 or 5 plays, and I think you had the same conversation with Coach Phillips a couple of weeks ago. They were probably 4 or 5 plays away from being a 7-win team last year. So those guys know that. Our guys understand. You never know which 4 or 5 plays it's going to be, so you've always got to give your best effort every time the ball is snapped.
Well, Coach, you mentioned that nobody really expected. Wanted to be 0-1, but that's where you are. That's where Madison Academy is. Kind of shed some light on the challenges coming up tomorrow night at home with a very stubborn Madison Academy team.
Well, nobody wants to be 0-1, but honestly, I think it's probably a good thing. We're still trying to figure out who we are, what our identity is as a football team. We can't judge this season or our success this year by what happened last year. That's over and done with. So we have a chance to answer back and see what kind of team we can have when adversity hits us. And we need a little bit of that. We need to be pushed. We need to be challenged. I think it makes you better in the long run. And I think Coach Johnson would say the same thing. It's an opportunity against another good football team to kind of answer back and see how we respond if it didn't go our way. So we're really excited about the challenge coming in. And, Coach and I talked when all the fluctuating of divisions and classifications were going on, and we wanted to make sure that we can keep each other on the schedule. We think it's a great game for our area. We think it's a great game for both of our schools. We know that we're going to push each other, to be better. And I think that's what you want in a football schedule, and that's what you should want every Friday night. Be pushed and challenged to be the best that you can be.
And we're talking to David Lloyd, head coach of the Randolph Raiders. And, Coach, I know that you mentioned previously that you weren't able to punch it in at the end of the first half. I thought that was a big turning point in the game because if you score a touchdown there, you guys, I thought, had your best drive of the game coming out of the halftime in the third quarter. And then you got to stop and had a chance to take a lead, which never happened. But if you score at the end of that half with that drive opening the third quarter and then perhaps, are able to move the football a little bit better after you got the defensive stop, it's probably a completely different game. But with the red zone issues, you don't want to give away the game plan, but how do you solve those? Is it being able to run the football a little bit better?
I think that's where it starts. At some point you're going to have to be able to run the football effectively to win games, to close out games, or to be able to punch it in right there. Wes Morgan stood tall and did a really good job right there in red zone defense. And honestly, I probably should have kicked the field goal, so that's probably on me just as much as anybody else, making that decision to go for it. Because any points right there, like you said, I thought the drive coming out to start the second half was really good for us.
Yes.
We're able to put it in the end zone, and at that point, if we kick a field goal, we make it. We're up 24, 21 right there. We get some points going our way. That could change some momentum right there. But we talk all the time. We want to win. We want to play great in that middle eight. The last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. We did that in the second half. We weren't really able to close it out in the first half, and that came back to hurt us a little bit. We just got to do a better job of executing in the red zone, and I got to do a better job of making calls to get points on the board for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then obviously the game. If you look at it, the game plan had to have had some success because you were able to put some points on the board on Friday?
Yeah, there were some things we did really well. There were some things they did defensively that we hadn't kind of seen on film or anything like that. So I don't think we did a great job adjusting to some of the looks they gave us. And we just, like I said, we just didn't execute when we had opportunities. We overthrew 2 touchdown passes that, would have put 14 points on the board for us. We started the game with an onside kick that we felt like we recovered, but we didn't. So we had to answer back to that really quick. So there was no time to kind of sit and cry about that. We had to get out there and play defense. Defensively, I thought we played well enough to win the football game.
Yes.
I think their starting running back had 101 yards rushing, and about 85 of them came on 2 carries.
Mm-hmm.
So we limit the big plays there. I thought we played well enough defensively. I was really happy with our effort there. Later in the game went on, we kind of gave up a couple of big plays. We had some cramping issues, so we had some younger guys in, and that's what you're looking for. Is how do those young guys play? How do they step up? We had a lot of first-year starters starting for us this year. And the game's a little faster than what you can stimulate in practice, and those guys need to see that, and it helps them grow and develop and become better football players.
Well, and Coach, I know you've got a lot of veterans offensively, especially Andrew Hunter at quarterback, Nick Strong, some guys that have played a lot of winning football for you, especially that contributed heavily to that 10-win season last year. How has their response been as a unit since getting the disappointing loss? Because I know, again, you hadn't played West Morgan I think since 2019, so it's been a while. And that was the first loss in school history to them. But at the same time, there's a lot of football left to be played, including against a team that you have a chance to make some history this Friday night that you've never beaten.
Right, and those guys they do a phenomenal job for us as leaders. They're going to come to work every day and do the things they need to do and get prepared. So I wouldn't say there was any real difference in the way they prepared this week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe their mindset was a little different. I do think that game kind of woke a few guys up that might have still been sleepwalking a little bit. So like I said, I think it was a good thing for us to get that game right out of the gate with a team like that. I thought they were really physical. We thought Nick had a good game. He had 10 carries for 53 yards. He had 10 catches for 80-something. He had 172 total yards and a touchdown. Andrew threw 2 touchdowns. He also had 113 yards on the ground.
That's right.
So those 2 guys were very productive for us. We were really happy to see Grayson Davenport back out on the field for us. He played a really good game. Connor Goodson's done a great job this week getting prepared and really helping guys, helping some of our younger guys, what they're seeing, how to align, what we need to do. So our leaders have done exactly what we expected them. They've come out, they've put in the work. They're trying to get our team as prepared as possible to play a good Madison Academy team.
Well, this is the Madison Academy team that's young, Coach. As you know, they lost a lot of talent, but they were, lost to the heartbreaker of their own, 42-35 at Bill Washington Stadium against Deshler last week, a very good young Deshler football team under Patrick Malone. What's going to be the key to getting a win for the Raiders Friday?
Again, we're going to have to take advantage of the opportunities we have. In all honesty, Madison Academy probably should have won that game.
Right.
They missed red zone opportunities, that they take advantage of. Like, that's a different football game. They have the ability to make big plays. They're young. They're very talented. They're inexperienced in places, but they've got talent all over the place. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play hard, but we're going to have to, again, take advantage of the opportunities that we're going to get. We're going to have to play better in the red zone. Offensively, we're going to have to put points on the board. And defensively, we're going to have to limit the big plays. Special teams, just keep the ball away from their playmakers. Don't kick it to their good guys.
Yeah, no question about that, Coach.
But we're just excited to come out tomorrow and play some football and see the improvements we've made from week 1 to week 2, and that's our goal, is to keep getting better every week. You play these non-region games at the beginning of your year to prepare you for a tough rest of schedule and hopefully to make a playoff run, and this game is no different for us. It's going to challenge us in ways that other teams may not. So we're excited for that challenge. We're excited for the opportunity for us to grow, develop, get better, and we're really excited excited for the potential of our team and what kind of year we can have in the long run.
Oh, absolutely, and we can't wait to be out at Sports Med Field tomorrow night. Should be a great atmosphere, home opener for the Raiders on Garth. The Randolph Raiders taking on the Madison Academy Mustangs. Going to be a great game. Hope we have great weather. But, Coach, thank you for the time, and we look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's get that break in. When we come back and wrap up Hour 1, Talking Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got to wreck in Decatur, 6th and Church. Actually, it's closer to 6th and Wilson. It's northbound at the approach to the Tennessee River Bridge, and it looks like they're moving all the traffic over to the left as you get past it. It is an injury time. And Madison Fire's checking Anytime Fitness on Slaughter Road. Got a report of smoke in the building there. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Huntsville Sports Commission, a not-for-profit organization, is driven by the love of sports, and we're excited to announce several events already planned for this fall, including the Gulf Coast Conference Soccer Championship, the AVCA Fall Collegiate Beach Championships, the NCAA Division I Regional Cross Country Championship, and the Running Lane Nationals Cross Country. For the love of sports, the Huntsville Sports Commission. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org.
As the Atlanta Braves battle for another postseason run.
Throw comes in, and it got him! Oh, my goodness, what a throw!
It's also the start of football season. We've got you covered right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 256. 576-4977. That's how you can get into the show and the conversation. The conversation in that first segment was the greatest college football coach of all time, because Chris Russo went era Parseghian and just kind of got everything in an uproar. Jeff from the Borough joining us on the program now. Good morning, Jeff.
How's it going, guys? I guess Mr. Russo better not play a trip to Alabama or he'll get killed, right?
I mean,
he'll get injured real bad.
I don't know about just here in the state of Alabama. It's
Birmingham. I'll say Birmingham or Tuscaloosa.
I don't think anywhere that knows college football, he shouldn't go to.
Okay. People think about these days is people can't have opinions. If they're against somebody else, then they can't have one. So I'm sure Parseghian was great for his era, his before I was born. I mean, I know a guy that coached football here in Tennessee for years. He played for the Bear in the 60s. He played, on a team that, when that tie happened with Michigan State and Notre Dame, I'm sure he still, they probably should have won the national championship. I don't know. That was back in the Pole era. So,
but that's the thing, though. Was era Parseghian even the greatest of his era?
I don't know. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, none of the older coaches would last today. None of them football or basketball, none of them. I mean, there's no two-a-days in football anymore. I mean, none of the great basketball coaches would last. Rupp would last one half of practice. He'd be fired 3 minutes in, the stuff he did. So, I mean, Wood and all the rest of them. I mean, Wood and Fog Allen, you can go down the line. I mean, none of them would last today with Twitter and internet and talk shows and all this other stuff. And none of them would last. He wouldn't even survive. So, I mean, it's different time, different era, different whole thing. Everything's different than it was back then. Even the 60s, 70s, it's all different. I mean, with everything that goes on now in 24/7 society, I mean, it's not even close. I mean, was he a great coach? He won the national championship, so he must have done something right. Of course, that's back in the Pole era, so that's before I was born, so I don't know much about it myself. But, I mean, it's all relative. I mean, Rupp was great for his era. Wooden was great for his. I mean, was Wooden the greatest coach of all time? He won 10 in 12 years. Then after he left, everybody knew he was cheating. He had people running for him, recruits and everything else. So what's the difference? I mean, to show me it's all relative. Can't nobody have an opinion, and that's what it amounts to. So, I mean, if people do, then if it's something against you, then you just can't, deal with it. I mean, Saban's going to retire one day. I know you don't think he's going to. He just signed that contract to 78 years old. Like guy told me that there won't be no fans, and there won't be no fans to stand till he be coaching. So like I say, babe, so he can stop by the gas station and pick up his gas station. He can pay up there. He can start an electric car dealership, and he can start riding some Teslas or call them Tuscaloosa, whatever he wants to do. So I mean, he's not going to coach forever. Coach K didn't either. He's retired. So I mean, I know y'all think he's going to. One day he'll be gone. So that's just the way it is. So y'all hang in there. I know y'all think Saban's a great God, but y'all hang in there. See y'all.
It's so funny. How can a Kentucky fan accuse? And I know there was the huge UCLA booster,
right,
who supposedly was helping buy players for Coach Wooden. Yada yada yada. But how can a Kentucky fan tell you and get mad about anybody cheating in basketball? When all you got to say is 2 words: Chris Mills.
I was just asking him if Farrah Parseghian was the greatest coach in his era.
And it's been proven. Coach Rupp was a great coach. There's no question about it. But it's also been proven in that era that Kentucky was cheating. Kentucky has been on probation numerous times for cheating in basketball. But a lot of people cheat. It's not just Kentucky. It's not just whatever happened at UCLA back in the day when they won 10 out of 12. And another thing you can say is that what Coach Wooden did was remarkable, but the tournament wasn't as difficult because you didn't have to win 6 games. You're only winning 4. And then it was regionalized.
Yeah.
A lot of times they had an easier road because I know everybody will be shocked by this. The basketball sucked out on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? It was weaker than it was in other parts of the country in the Northeast and even in the SEC. So UCLA, despite how good they were, and they were great, they didn't have to go through and face the competition a lot of times that the North Carolinas did.
Right.
or the Alabamas did under Sam Newton. I think in 1976, CM had a good enough team to win it all, but he had a tougher draw. You know what I'm saying? You just got to understand that, sometimes that's the way things are. But, I still think when you look at it, because of the parity in college football today and the money everywhere, what Nick Saban has done is remarkable because, again, he hasn't had the same coaching staff every year. He's had to navigate the playoff. And since he started coaching at Alabama, they've gone from the BCS to the playoff. They've changed the rules numerous times, trying to screw his program over, and that's exactly what the NC Double Dumb has done because they couldn't stand Alabama winning so much because they're trying to throw a lifeline to deadbeat programs like Notre Dame and save them and make them relevant again when hopefully they never will be. What they'll have to just put up with is going 44-7 but not winning anything. And then you can't even claim a conference championship. I can't say what I really like to on XM radio, but because guess what? You're independent because you're so arrogant you think you have to be. You need to get your butt in a conference and compete for us. At least have a conference title maybe you could put up in the daggum in the banners in your indoor practice facility when it's 20 degrees. So at least you can say, we won a conference championship. But now all you can do is say, we beat USC. But nobody cares because they suck as bad as you do.
Okay. If you love Notre Dame, this was not the show for you today. We've got one more hour to go. When we come back, phone lines are back open to you, 256-576-4977. We'll have some fun in hour number 2. We promise.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They are clear of the traffic lanes at 6th and Wilson in Decatur. Still got blue lights there off the right side of the road, slowing things down just a bit. Got Wall Triana and Pine Grove reported with an injury. Wall Triana near Madison Boulevard reported with an injury. 20 eastbound east of 31, that one came in as a no injury. 231 in Monroe Road reported with an injury as well. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free child care. The YMCA, Huntsville and Madison. We'll keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon, very similar to the last couple of days across the area. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Some of us trying to make a solid run at 90 degrees. Looks like many of us are going to fall just short. Once again, the opportunity is there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, it's hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you, hanging out in what should be another fantastic 60 minutes of radio. In hour 1, we talked a lot about the fact that the whole Chris Russo picking Ara Parseghian as the greatest college football coach of all time. And that was yesterday on ESPN. So we had that in hour 1, 256-576-4977. You are more than welcome to join the program in hour 2 to share your thoughts on anything that you heard or did not hear in hour 1. Let's see here. Where do we need to go? There was a question that it was in my head, and the only reason why I was thinking of this was because if you look around the SEC or if you look around college football, in the SEC, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M all have quarterback battles going on right now. Camp has broken pretty much in all of those schools, in Auburn, LSU, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. Neither one of those schools has named a starting quarterback as of yet. Now, in all the other places, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, we all know who the starting quarterback is. If you are a fan of Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, LSU,
I feel sorry for you. I really do.
Okay. If you are a fan of those schools, though, that do not have a starting quarterback named, is it one of those things where are you worried that you do not have a starting quarterback named? Should there be? I know these coaches do this gamesmanship thing where they don't want to name it until the last minute or all this other stuff. But, are you worried if you don't have a starting quarterback named as of yet? Is it one of those things
if I were Auburn, I would be mildly worried. And
Okay.
the only reason I'm saying that is because I think, Zach Calzada has been mildly disappointing. I don't trust Finley to play consistent football down in and down out, and I certainly don't think Ashford can pass the football well enough. So I don't know yet if you have a quarterback that can play winning football. I do think you have a running back. You might have 2 or 3, and with Jarquez Hunter and Damari Alston, I think you got some, and of course Tank. I think your O-line is going to be a little bit better. It's experienced. It's 1 year in the system with Harsin. And I think it's healthier with Killian Zaire. And so I think, and then I think wide receiver wise, there is some uncertainty because there's some guys that haven't made plays, but I still think the most important position is the trigger man. Javarius Johnson has a lot of talent. He came back out of the portal to stay at Auburn. I think he can make plays. We'll see how Coy Moore adapts himself from LSU, the transfer. We'll see, if this Camden Brown, he's had a great camp,
right.
Freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas, is he going to be the real deal? I do think Shanker is an NFL player, and you can hear him, weekly on the Tom Abraham show from Auburn, their tight end. So, again, but I just think the most important position offensively now in college football is quarterback.
Right.
They don't have a proven one. I think their defense, honestly, and I was talking with Pastor John Dees, one of our great sponsors, Cross Point Church, yesterday. We were having lunch. I think Auburn's defense is sneaky good. I think they can be a top 5 defense in the SEC. And last year they were in the top 5 in rushing defense and scoring defense. If their secondary improves a little bit, and they did lose McCreary and Smoke Monday, but Smoke Monday was overrated. Okay, now McCreary could play. Now, but if, we heard from Justin Hokanson Monday, and he talked about Jalen Simpson, a freakish athlete, Nehemiah Pritchett. If those guys, and then Keontae Scott, the junior college player, if they take to things quickly, I think Auburn could be pretty good on defense. But it's going to come down to quarterback play.
Right.
And right now, if I were an Auburn fan, I'd be a little skittish because there doesn't seem to be a definitive winner.
What about LSU and Ole Miss and Texas A&M? Here is Jimbo Fisher yesterday.
Great. Okay, hook up the lie detector. Hook it up.
Have you decided who your starting quarterback is?
No.
And have you? Well, let me put it. You don't know, or you're just not saying?
I haven't told you who my starting quarterback is.
When do you intend to make a decision? Have you decided that?
When I'm ready. No,
when might you be ready?
No.
So Jimbo Fisher, I know that was Olin Buchanan.
I love O, but is he the only one that ever asked any questions of this dirt neck? I just don't understand it. I wish I got to ask Nick Saban 3 questions at once. Yeah. I mean, good Lord, I'm lucky to even get called on the way it works.
But Jimbo Fisher kind of tongue-in-cheek there. It's almost like, that's a...
And I love O, by the way.
Yes, we do. That is a Haynes King, Max Johnson battle for the starting quarterback job there. In Ole Miss, it's Luke Altmaier, Jackson Dart. At LSU, it's Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier.
I think that's Jaden Daniels all the way. I don't even think that's a contest.
Right. And what about Texas A&M? Is it Haynes King?
I think
it
should be Max Johnson because he's actually won games. Haynes King has done nothing. Now, he got hurt. So I'm anxious to see, how good Haynes King is. But I didn't even think he was great against Kent State last year. And then when he got hurt, they weren't setting the woods on fire against Colorado. Okay? So Max Johnson beat Dirt Neck last year.
Yeah.
So I've been on the Max Johnson train. Of course, I was on the Miles Brennan train, and he took his NIL and went home. Like, he's not even on the team anymore.
No, he gone.
So we'll see. But, they've been talking about Haynes King since he signed, about how he's such a great player. He better be, because I'm telling you, 8-4 University, they're going to have to patent the 4th of August every year, okay? Because that's the bottom line, and that's what they are.
All right, was it Randy's with us? Is that who's with us? All right, our good pal Randy's back. Good morning, Randy.
Hey, good morning. Hey, listen, I was telling your screener, the guy who said that Eric Parseghian is the greatest coach, man, y'all need to check your HR. Whoever hired him didn't know what to do. Never have liked Notre Dame. And back in the day, in the 70s, when Alabama was playing Notre Dame and they called a pass interference play on Don McNeil, and Notre Dame wound up winning the ball game, hey, hate them even more.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of bitter losses in the 70s to Notre Dame. That's all I know. It always seemed like something goofy happened. The Dave Casper deal. You throw it up, you make some unbelievable catch. I've heard the stories in '73. I've heard the stories in the Cotton Bowl. Heck, when they mentioned '64, it made me sick because Alabama should have beat the Texas Longhorns. Joe Namath, half his body's in the end zone, and Mo, Larry, and Curley said he didn't score. Half of his body's in the end zone, and these morons couldn't see that.
I'll agree with you. For years, the North couldn't stand the South, and sports writers couldn't stand the South. Well, guess what? You got the SEC now. You might as well live with it.
Exactly. I totally agree with you, Randy.
Hey, brother, y'all have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. 256.
We got a new Randy.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything he said.
256.
And he obviously voted for the right people.
That got you in trouble yesterday. 256.
I don't care.
256 576
I have no tolerance for that. And that's all I'll say about it.
256 576 4977. That's the number to get in on the show and the conversation this morning. Yeah, that I was just wondering about the starting quarterback. I know coaches do it, and I know there's no specific timeline, and I am sure in a lot of these programs, I am sure at LSU, I am sure at Ole Miss and Texas A&M, they have a darn good idea of who their starting quarterback is. They're just not saying it. And I'm sure one of those guys, they're getting the number one reps. They pretty much know who that starter is.
Well, I mean, reading between the lines and what Justin Hokanson writes, and guys like Jason Caldwell and Brian Matthews, and a lot of these guys that have covered Auburn have done it for a long time, and they do it well. And so, just when you read the tea leaves, it just looks like T.J. Finley is going to be the dude. Now, is that permanent? No. I kind of lean to what Hokanson has said, and it's that will play itself out on the field. Okay, when the real bullets start flying, when you're playing against Mercer, when you're playing against San Jose State, and then if you go out there and you throw up all over yourself against Penn State and you're not playing well, it'll open the door for the other dude.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, but if Finley plays well in the first two games against overmatched opponents, and then if he comes out and he plays pretty good football against Penn State, it's probably going to be decided. But if you leave the door open and it swings open, then something could happen. Last year, Calzada got on the field because of injury, because Haynes King got hurt against Colorado, and then he went out there and he was inconsistent. He was up and down. Let's see. And in his defense, though, let's understand something. He missed the spring with a shoulder injury, and sometimes it takes a while for a guy in a new place to get rolling. Okay? He hasn't been on the Auburn campus that long or playing with his teammates. But I'll just say this for Finley. He's also a guy that transferred from another school, from LSU. But he has been on campus longer, was on the team last season, and made some plays in real games for Auburn. But he better take advantage of this opportunity. You better not let the door swing back open and play at a high level. If you play at a high level, this is over. And what am I saying? Is Robbie Ashford the quarterback? No, he's basically a wildcat, because I don't think he can throw the ball well enough and distribute the football to the receivers like a Finley or potentially a Zach Calzada could do.
Here's a shock for you. As of 48 hours ago, West Virginia has not named their starting quarterback.
Well, he probably got nervous in the scrimmage and threw up all over everything. I mean, he's the biggest flop in the history of college. I mean,
that would be JT Daniels is who we are speaking of.
Has there ever been a more overhyped five-star quarterback than JT Daniels? How many times did you hear the Georgia fans, courtesy of the injury report, talk about JT Daniels winning the Heisman Trophy and being a first-round pick and winning a national championship? And the walk-on had to do it. The walk-on won it. He won the national championship, not the great JT Daniels. And when you go back and look at the great JT Daniels, he had a decent freshman year. It wasn't great. And then he got hurt. And talking about timing, Keaton Slovis took the job because he played the rest of that year and then just flat beat him out the next spring. The dude is overrated. I don't care if he went to Mater Dei. He's not that good. He's certainly not a pro, I don't think. It wouldn't even shock me if he doesn't win the job at West Virginia. He's probably not as good as Will Grier, who played there after leaving Florida and went on to he's now a backup quarterback in the NFL. Heck, Miles Brennan needs to get on the first plane to West Virginia. He could probably play there. Hurry up. You got some free chicken fingers.
You mentioned overrated quarterbacks, quarterbacks that we've hyped up so high.
I guess he's not Tate Martell, though, because we really talked about him.
What about Mitch Mustaine from Arkansas?
Yeah, that's a rough one. That was Gus's boy.
Yeah.
He went to USC, and he was terrible. I mean, he was pretty bad. I mean, he never lived up to the expectations. I'll say that. I mean,
yeah, because JT Daniels clearly has not lived up to any of the expectations that have been put on him by, I don't know, by us, by media. Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
Florida quarterback, remember him? Jimmy Clausen, remember him from Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah, but he did at least make the NFL, though. We got to give him credit for that.
Ryan Perilou.
Yeah, he ended up at Jacksonville State for obvious reasons, not because of just his talent. I'll just say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He fell and fell.
You might want to watch that show 48 Hours on A&E or something to give you some hints.
256-576-4977. That's the number to get in on the program, on the show this morning, if you would like. And we heard a little bit of Jimbo Fisher, just a minute there, or a second there, of Jimbo Fisher. One quarterback race that is...
And I remember another overrated one before I forget.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. This guy committed to Alabama and ended up, I don't know, 5 or 6 different schools. I know B. Rich is listening to this. And in my memories, you know, in the iPhones now, they give you those memories and these pictures just pop up.
Yep.
And he ran into this dude outside Bryant-Denny Stadium, and everybody thought he was a stud. And he had the mental toughness of a grape. And he ended up going to USC. He flopped there. He ended up at Arkansas. He flopped there. He was at Pitt at one time, and he flopped there. Ricky Town.
Quarterback?
Yeah, he was a 5-star.
What year was that?
Oh, Lord. This is 10 years ago, like around 12 or 13. The great Ricky Town. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with Brian Berry, a.k.a. Scoop, a good friend of mine, and we're eating at Baumhauer's, and I'm looking at my phone. We're at the bar, and I look at my phone, and I said, Scoop, there's something that just happened. He goes, what? I said, I just got followed on Twitter by Ricky Town. This is probably a good sign, because it was back in those days, you felt like if you could get a 5-star quarterback, you could turn your whole program around. And Alabama, of course, had been rolling, but it was the game manager thing. You're thinking, are we finally going to start getting these 5-star quarterbacks? And we got a commitment thereafter, like the next day from Ricky Town, and then he ended up flipping to USC. But that was a blessing in disguise because he just flat couldn't play dead in a B Western. Okay? He was terrible. And I'll never forget, Lance Thompson. I'm going to go ahead and call Lance out because he's the defensive line coach of the Maryland Terrapins now. And he told me one time, he said, the biggest thing that's a problem is all these quarterbacks' parents think their son's Tom Brady and he's going to the NFL in 3 years and he's going to win the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what was wrong with Ricky Town because I think his family moved him from one school to the other and he never became good at all. And so you see these all the time. Ricky Town is one of the all-time busts, actually. He
signed out of high school in Southern Cal in 2015.
Was it 15?
Yeah, before transferring to Arkansas.
It was Arkansas.
Spent the 15-16 season with the Razorbacks, did not play.
Did he go to Pitt?
Enrolled at the University of Pitt in 2018 following his transfer from Ventura College.
Ventura? Where the hell is that?
California.
I was going to say.
Participated in spring drills, played in 3 games, completed his lone passing attempt of the season as a 15-yarder, and that was it. So there you go. Yes, Southern Cal, Arkansas, Ventura, and Pitt was where he was. That was 2018. In 2018, he was with Pitt.
But that's the last stop, right?
That's the last that I can see.
We ever – I don't think he ever played at Pitt, though, did he?
It doesn't look like he did.
And he was a 5-star, and I'll never
forget. No, because you know what, though? Because was Kenny Pickett 4 years at Pitt? So he would have been 18, 19, 20, 21. So 19. I doubt Ricky Town saw the field.
Well, no, what's so funny, though, is – it's crazy how all that works out because Ricky Town was considered a can't miss. And then, I think, honestly, and this is in his defense, I think he also had some issues with mental health. And that's a serious situation.
Yeah, well, in 2018, he left Pitt because his family had issues with the wildfires in California.
Yeah.
He was able to graduate. He left the team. He did not transfer. He did graduate, though, from Pitt. So.
Well, I mean, and what I remember is, like, Trent Dilfer, as you know, used to run the Elite 11.
Right.
And I remember when Ricky Town competed in it, and I think he finished in the middle of the pack, but he talked about Ricky Town improving more than any quarterback he'd seen, and yet it didn't translate into college football. I think Ricky Town had a lot of pressure on him when you're considered a 5-star program savior, and it just never translated. And I'll say that in the kid's defense. But I mean, we're just talking about quarterbacks that never, ended up. Well, another one that was hyped up to the no end and played at his hometown school and never became what they thought was Josh Booty. LSU.
Ah, okay.
He never became, the Heisman Trophy winner that everybody thought he would out of a Shreveport Evangel. Really, no quarterback ever came out of Shreveport Evangel and became good in college. It was a great program, but you never really saw a quarterback come out of there and translate onto the highest level of college football.
The one that I'm thinking of at Auburn, Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great athlete at Carver.
Never
Montgomery.
lived. I mean, he came out of high school and everybody thought it was. I mean, they were ready to hand him the Heisman Trophy when he took over that starting job
for
at Auburn.
Everybody on the cameras here. This is Be Rich with Ricky Town. Everybody. Got to give him credit. He found it in the phone. Ricky Town from nearly 10 years ago.
Dang.
There you go. My man Ricky Town.
All right, there we go. I think the quarterbacks that just didn't live up, I guess, coming out of, all because of JT Daniels. Still has yet to win the West Virginia starting job. That's how that all started.
Lord.
With JT Daniels. He's already got 2 Heisman trophies, one at USC and one at Georgia.
He got about 2 at Georgia.
Yeah. That's about how many games he played, right?
Something like that.
All right, let's get that break in. Ben Troop going to help us break down some more college football and the Florida Gators next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They are clear of the traffic lanes at 6th and Wilson in Decatur. Still got blue lights there off the right side of the road, slowing things down just a bit. Got Wall Triana and Pine Grove reported with an injury. Wall Triana near Madison Boulevard reported with an injury. 20 eastbound east of 31, that one came in as a no injury. 231 in Monroe Road reported with an injury as well. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free child care. The YMCA, Huntsville and Madison. We'll keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life, more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Indeed, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 8:29 on a Thursday morning. Welcome back to the show. And we've had a lot of great college football conversation this morning. We're ending that last segment with quarterbacks that have gotten a ton of attention and maybe not have lived up to that hype that we, the media, or something like that has come out. Because, I mean, we've parlayed that from JT Daniels, at USC, then to Georgia, and still has yet to be named the starting quarterback at West Virginia. A lot of hype there with JT Daniels. We've talked about Eric Parseghian being called the greatest college football coach of all time by Chris Russo. We've had a lot of great conversation this morning. Lots.
And we really have. And our next guest, we weren't able to connect with him as we usually do at SEC Media Days in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame. But he's done a great job with ESPN Coastal and Pigskin Radio. He does a great job as an author, a motivational speaker, former NFL player, as we know, and, of course, also a tight end, a very good one, an all-SEC tight end for the Florida Gators. But it's always great to catch up with our next guest and talk some SEC football, and that is Ben Troop. And Ben Troop is with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ben, welcome back to Huntsville. You're Drew and Scott. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Well, your thoughts. I mean, we are 48 hours away from getting this new college football season started. Should be a good one, and your Florida Gators have probably one of the premier matchups to get things started with a Utah-Florida matchup.
Yep.
Yeah, we made it. The hardest thing for us college football analysts, journalists, or people that just cover all things is to make it from the last game to this game. I mean, I know it's week 0 coming up, and then obviously my Florida Gators got Utah. I mean, it's the best brand of football there is. Take nothing away from the National Football League. I heard you guys talking about the quarterbacks, in the SEC, which I think they're going to be good top to bottom in the East and the West. And I just think that for a guy like Billy Napier, man, I mean, it's real similar with Sam Pittman left Georgia to Arkansas. He gets Georgia the first game. Dan Lanning leaves Georgia. He got Georgia versus Auburn. Oregon versus the Dogs. I mean, while I do think that a guy like Billy Napier is one of the premier coaches, he ain't going to get no mulligan. You got to come out the gate at night against a team that some people have picked to make the college football playoff, them Utah boys. They're going to be a hard matchup, man. But I know that Billy Napier, he's getting everything going down there in Gainesville. And, hey, man, he's going to get to show what he's made of a week from now.
Yeah, it's funny, Ben. We had a lot of great content for our listeners from SEC Media Days and the College Football Hall of Fame, but the one that got the most attention, and it was interesting, his interview on our YouTube channel was Anthony Richardson. And he's a guy that's we saw briefly last year at times. He showcased a lot of ability and raw athletic talent, but he couldn't stay healthy. And then when he started against Georgia, it was against the best team in the country, a little bit overmatched. But now he's had a complete offseason to be the dude, to get healthy, to play in this system under Billy Napier. Is that Anthony Richardson going to break out? If he does, see, I picked Florida third in the East. I think they could have a sneaky good year. I don't believe in Tennessee as much. How good can Richardson be, and how good can your Gators be this year?
I think Anthony Richardson's going to be as good as he wants to be. I think when you have so much natural talent and gifts that he has, when I had a chance to speak to him, I told him, I said, man, can you do the normal things as far as like going out there, throwing the ball away when there's nobody there? Getting down when you want to pull it down and run it, and can you pull out that cape when you need to? Because the thing about a guy that has that type of ability, he thinks he has to be supernatural every single play on offense, and you're not going to make it a full season. I said, look, you're 240 and a linebacker 240 is different. You get hit once a week. He hits every day. So and he knows it. Look, I mean, he's from Gainesville. He plays quarterback. He wears number 15. The guy doesn't lack confidence. I mean, so I give him that. But he has to be able to say to himself, am I ready to put this team on my back, understanding that I'm going to have a run game, I'm going to have a solid defense, I'm going to have to figure out who's going to be my number one receiver. If he can do quote, the boring things of just being a game manager and show people why he is an elite talent, I think Florida can be as good as they want to be, especially with a guy like that at QB.
All right, we're going to dive more into, Florida and their personnel and stuff. But, Ben, I got to ask you, we had to laugh about it. This viral photo of the Florida Gators and all the staff members and the players that has gone viral. Crazy.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I knew we had a big staff, right?
They're financially committed. We know that.
But I didn't know it was. I didn't know. This is the thing. The funniest one was they said like 100 and something jerseys and 140 polos. I said, wait a minute. And mind you, when I was at Florida, they used to tell us this. They said, listen, man, you almost need one coach for every play. I said, man, there's no way you could do that. Well, I think Billy Napier, while Florida's not ready to beat Alabama, that's Billy Napier's way of telling Nick Saban, take that. How many coaches you got now? Because Billy, I mean, obviously everybody learned from Nick Saban with the analysts. I don't know. They have something for everything now. I mean, there's a coordinator and an assistant. You got a coordinator, what I'm saying, for helmet fitting. You got an assistant coordinator. I didn't know it was 140. If it's 140 in 2022 and Billy Napier is looking to be there for a while, fellas, we're gonna have to get a wider camera angle because it's gonna be 240 in the very recent future.
No question about that. But I guess now, Ben, I know you've been you guys are over there at Southern Pigskin, been talking a lot of football, getting ready to for the SEC to crank up. I mean, we're gonna see Vandy take the flight to Hawaii and take on the Rainbow Warriors on Saturday night. But what are your thoughts on the SEC? Is it Alabama and Georgia? Are they the two prohibitive favorites in the divisions? And if not, for you, who are the sleepers and who are a couple of teams that could surprise?
Well, it's definitely Alabama and Georgia, and that's going to be the norm until anybody can prove those teams wrong. When you look at how they recruit, you look at how they play. But for me, I think that a sneaky team every single year is going to be LSU because they got talent, right? They got talent. I know Miles Brennan decided to walk away from football, but they got talent. Texas A&M can recruit, but I think the sneakiest team in the West is always Arkansas. We just expect Arkansas to be middle of the road, but they're not. Get a guy like KJ Jefferson, and this is the thing: Sam Pittman, take nothing away from Kirby and Nick. He's done the best job. He is. What Sam Pittman is to the West is what Mark Stoops is in the East. We just expect these teams to not be good, but somebody forgot to tell them because they are good. They're very, very good. And in the East, I think it is a team like Tennessee because I think a guy like Hendon Hooker for what they want to do on offense. Coach Hyper obviously understands the quarterback position from a player's standpoint and a coach's standpoint. And I think that a team like Tennessee, if they can get quality defense to go with that high-powered offense, I think they're going to be very dangerous.
How good are the quarterbacks in the SEC this year?
I think they're as good as I've seen in a long time because it used to be I put so many athletes around the quarterback, we can win in spite of them. Now you got to win because of them. Bryce Young and Stetson Bennett are the headliners. I mentioned Hendon Hooker and KJ Jefferson. I mean, Spencer Rattler. I mean, he's out there in South Carolina. You talk about Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. I mean, and the list goes on and on. I think what happens is these coaches are saying, look, if it's the fourth quarter and we need to make a play, and that's a Stetson Bennett effect because he did not play well the first half. He needs to make that throw in the second half to win the national championship. The guy played the college football. He played the college football playoff, and he played in the national championship. He was the MVP of both. And people thinking that he's not, a big-time player yet. If you stack up him, if you put him next to Bryce Young as far as, size, they look the same. But one guy was a five-star who got recruited from California. The other guy was from, rural Georgia, who was a walk-on. Yet, when they matched up, the guy that don't look the part was the better player in that game. But I do think top to bottom, the SEC is loaded with quarterbacks this year. And I think that while it's going to be about Bryce Young and the Stetson Bennett because of the team they play for, they might not end up being the best quarterback in the SEC this year.
Okay, well, I've got to ask you this, Ben. We're talking to Ben Troop. Pigskin Radio does a great job in the state of Georgia, over there in Savannah on the coast, bringing you SEC conversation. Now, we know that Alabama and Georgia, as you've just defined for us, are the favorites. You like Arkansas as a sleeper. You like Kentucky. Because of what Mark Stoops has done, no question about it. Well, I mean, what team is going to disappoint? I'm not buying Tennessee or Texas A&M. First of all, I don't think Tennessee is still going to be good enough defensively. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a bad football team. I'm saying 7-5, 8-4. I just don't think they're going to compete for a championship. And then I think A&M is going to be disappointing again. I don't really understand why people have them in the college football playoff. I know they went out and bought a recruiting class because of NIL. But I don't see it because, first of all, you just mentioned all these quarterbacks, and Texas A&M doesn't even know who their starters are going to be yet.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Texas A&M, I mean, what they want to do is they want to win the offseason. This time, I mean, a couple of years ago, it was Jimbo Fisher saying we're going to beat Alabama, and he lived up to it. They did go out there and beat them. They was the number one recruiting class, and then when the thing went viral, when the guy telling the recruits, I mean, you look at how much money people are paying you, that guy's no longer on the staff. He was there for 30 days or whatever. I just don't see it happening. And as far as, to me in the East, I think that Tennessee is going to be good. I think they're going to be high power. But like you said, that defense has to be able to match what the offense is doing. And if you got a high-powered offense that's getting shut down, 3 and out, so you right back on the field, I just see that being a detriment. I think the most dangerous team in the East is South Carolina. If Spencer Rattler can deal with, I think if he can get a running game and play within the confines of what Coach Beamer wants to do. This ain't Oklahoma, so where you're gonna have a defense, you're gonna have a run game. You don't have to be. It don't have to be a shootout. They're the most dangerous team because no one saw them doing what they did last year, and they had a freaking guy that was coaching the quarterback, having to play the quarterback position a couple of games last year. And obviously, in the West, I mean, the biggest outside of Arkansas and LSU. The best offense suited for what they do, it's got to be Ole Miss. Ole Miss is really, really good. You got to replace Matt Corral, but the one thing about it is, I mean, when you start looking at what they want to do, they could be very dangerous as well because they didn't get enough talk because obviously, Coach was up there talking, coaches up there talking about, the NIL stuff and stuff like that. Watch out for them Ole Miss boys because they could be dangerous. Watch out for what a guy like Shane Beamer and Spencer Rattler can do because he understands him. If he can light it up, who knows, man? That second spot in the SEC East is definitely up for grabs.
You played the game of college football and the NFL. Lane Kiffin went out and went heavy. Proclaimed himself the transfer portal king, brought in a bunch of new faces. Now he's got to coach and get all those new faces on the same page. Are we making too much of that? How hard is that as a player? How hard is that as a team to come in with all of these new faces, not just new faces, but key players, key figures in what should be a big-time offense and defense, to get them all on the same page, to be ready to go in week one?
Bringing them in is one thing. Buying in is everything. You got to get them to buy in quick, and that's the hardest thing for any coach to do. Culture is what has to be established. If I can get these guys to believe in me, believe in the coaching staff, believe in what we're giving them, we can be dangerous. The problem is, it's too many. Everybody from Missouri now, man. You got to show them all. You got to show me that they can work well. It's not going to work without you. But if they can buy in, they can be very, very good. And that's what Georgia and Alabama do better than anybody. Everybody's bought in. As soon as they walk through those doors, they're going to do whatever's asked, and they're not going to question it. These other schools, I don't know how the buy-in is. I know they got good players. I know they got good coaches. I know they got good resources. I know they got good staff. It's the buy-in there, because teams that are bought in are the hardest teams to beat. And for me, places like Ole Miss, hey, you got to replace a lot. If they combine with what Coach Lane is doing, they got a shot to be good. But if not, it's going to be a long year. And Lane Kiffin, he is going to hate doing media if it doesn't go well this year.
Well, and we're talking to Ben Troop, ESPN Coastal, and we're going to last few minutes talking SEC football. I got to ask you this: what are your thoughts on Brian Kelly coming to LSU? First of all, I think that he can do well there. I thought he did as much as he could at Notre Dame. There are some that have been critical and said, he couldn't get them ready for big games, but we know how Notre Dame had struggled before he got there. He's the winningest coach there in history, and we've seen what Nick Saban and Les Miles have been able to do at LSU since 2000 when Nick Saban arrived in Red Stick. What do you think about Brian Kelly and his long-term future in Baton Rouge?
I think he's going to do well. I think Louisiana is a state that's not talked about a lot when you look at how much great talent is in that state, and it boosts the reputation. No greater boost to the reputation of the SEC than to have a guy that's, most of the time when you leave Notre Dame, it's because you got fired. You don't just leave because you want to be a part of the LSU thing. But I will say, Brian Kelly, he's under the most scrutiny because Ogeron, because Nick Saban, because Les Miles, they won national championships. You don't got to like it, but they won it. They expect to win with a guy like Brian Kelly, who's coming with probably the best resume and leaving the biggest brand in college football. I think he's going to do well, but just like I said about a Billy Napier, you don't get no mulligans. Heupel, right, and Beamer are going to make it. They made it bad on everybody because they superseded expectations when they had nobody. You're going to have to go out there and get it done, and no one's going to care that Miles Brennan has moved on to greener pastures. He's going to have to find a way to win games.
This is Billy Napier's first year at Florida. The expectations, I don't know really what should be the expectations. I know he's brought a lot of energy or brought a life into that program that was probably lacking under Dan Mullen. How important then is that opener with Utah for Billy Napier?
It's huge. And obviously you want him to win it. You want him to win this game. But Utah coming in is a better team. Obviously, I think Florida's got the home field advantage. If you do lose to Utah, you're gonna have to lose. You're gonna have to look good doing it. Because that's a new thing, right? If I lose, how do I look losing? And I think for Billy Napier, he's gonna have to establish an identity on offense, and you're gonna have to protect Anthony Richardson. You got a lot of guys coming back, Javon Dexter, and Brenton Cox, and Trey Dean, and Ventura Miller, Jason Marshall. So that defense to me is gonna be better than the offense this year. But if you can find a way to protect number 15, give him some weapons, give him a running game, I think that Florida could be very, very dangerous because say what you want about Dan Mullen, back-to-back New Year's Six Bowls, nobody had done that. Florida was not even in the national conversation, so he's going to have to pick up where Dan Mullen left off, but he's going to have to win games because ain't no more, we won 6 games, made it to a bowl game. Were you competing in the East? Because I know it's going to be rough in Jacksonville. I know you got to get through the first game, but them boys from Athens, that's going to be the barometer with Kentucky coming to town second game of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough early schedule for Billy Napier, but I look forward to seeing how he attacks the challenge. Well, Ben, always appreciate the time when you talking SEC football with us. Let everybody know how to connect with you on your social media, and we look forward to talking with you again during this coming college football season.
Always can follow me at BenTroop84 on all social media handles. Always go to BenTroop84.com. My book, Uncommon Unfinished, is still available. And, hey, man, I'm just enjoying enjoying this time with you, Drew, man. I appreciate you guys always giving me this opportunity, man. This is what makes me me. I get to talk SEC football. I'm already losing my hair. I need to just all just fall out because I can't deal with the stress week in and week out.
Well, these Notre Dame fans can't either. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. We got to get our final break in. When we come back, tomorrow's headlines today.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They are clear of the traffic lanes at 6th and Wilson in Decatur. Still got blue lights there off the right side of the road, slowing things down just a bit. Got Wall Triana and Pine Grove reported with an injury. Wall Triana near Madison Boulevard reported with an injury. 20 eastbound east of 31, that one came in as a no injury. 231 in Monroe Road reported with an injury as well. Why not get healthy where it's cool? You could become a Y member and enjoy over 200 group classes, swimming pools, awesome fitness equipment, and free child care. The YMCA, Huntsville and Madison. We'll keep the air on for you. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
The Braves are out to defend their world title, and it all starts now as the push to the playoffs heats up in Atlanta.
Next pitch to Riley. Swung on, hammered to deep center. Hey, the man! Home run!
Tomorrow, the Braves look to keep the National League wins rolling as they head into Busch Stadium for a weekend with the St. Louis Cardinals. Braves Radio's on the air at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Depression and anxiety affect almost 20% of Americans each year.
At Integrated Behavioral Health, our mission is to provide patient-centered, high-quality mental health services in a caring and compassionate setting.
IBH staff is wonderfully compassionate and friendly. They help me through a lot of my issues. I love this place.
If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, or other mental health disorders, make your appointment today. Call 855-422-1618. Integrated Behavioral Health in Madison and Decatur.
The playoff-bound Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 6 games at Toyota Field starting on August 30th versus the Biloxi Shuckers. The week's promotions include a kids bobblehead giveaway on Tuesday, a Reed Detmer's pint glass giveaway on Thursday, and a military t-shirt giveaway on Sunday. Get your tickets for all the fun now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
The best local sports talk with the best in college football. A perfect combination. Hi, this is Chris Stewart. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, before we get out to the phone lines real fast, one good headline I do want to get out there, and it is a little bit of an NBA news. Okay, no, this is good because it pertains to right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Timberwolves announced the hire of a new director of player personnel, and he's also becomes the general manager of the Iowa Wolves, which is their Gatorade or their NBDL, their G League their G League name. And this is one of the best players to come through our area, one of the finest individuals to come through our area, John Wallace.
Yeah, Jonathan Wallace.
Yeah, he goes by John. Yeah.
Yeah, from Sparkman High School, Georgetown. For John Thompson the third, had a great career. Was a guy that was unheralded somewhat when he left Sparkman, even though he was a 4-year starter. He was not, considered a blue chip level recruit to Georgetown. I think he basically walked on and then earned a scholarship like Antoine Petway quickly, became one of the best players of his era at Georgetown, helped them win a lot of basketball games.
Get him to a Final Four.
Yeah, and Jonathan Wallace, what a great player. I know he played for a while overseas. There was thoughts he was going to go to law school, but a lot like Levi Randolph, just an A1 class person, and just really, congratulate him on his career at Sparkman High School and at Georgetown professionally, and now starting a career off the floor in the NBA.
Big time roles. All right, Bob's with us on the phone lines this morning. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Morning.
I caught Drew's rant this morning about Notre Dame when I left the gym, and then I missed most of the show. But now I'm dropping my daughter off, so I didn't. But just a few things to hit you with this morning. One, I love the rant on Notre Dame. I couldn't agree more. I mean, let's not even get him fired up again, but agree.
I mean, unfortunately, my alma mater in high school, that they used their fight song, so I had to at least listen to that. But, I mean, I didn't make that decision.
Yeah, I hear you. So here's a couple things. So, one, I want to talk real quick SEC football, and then two, local high school football. Get your take on that. So SEC, I've called in a bunch of times. I'm the local Georgia transplant who's a Georgia fan, just to be clear. But Kentucky, Florida, all these teams, stop. Stop. It's Georgia and Bama again. That's what's happening. Bama's going to be unbelievable this year. I think Bryce Young's probably going to he might win the Heisman again. It's going to be a fantastic year for him. Now, as a Georgia fan, I will say that Stetson Bennett, I was one of the biggest Stetson Bennett haters ever last year. And Like, I hated the guy. I hated it all the way back to when it was Jake Fromm and Justin Fields, and I was mad about Justin Fields leaving to go to Ohio State. So, I think Stetson Bennett's going to have a really good year, and it's going to be Georgia and Bama again. We're going to see a repeat.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Logan, I'm sorry. I think we are out of time.
Yeah, we're going to have to get to you tomorrow, Logan. Please call back. Thank you for listening.
That's going to do it for our Thursday edition. 2 hours went by just like that.
I hate Notre Dame.
Really?
Yeah.
First time I've heard that all day.
All right.
All right. We're going to get to you tomorrow.
Congrats to Kyle Wright, 16-5, 2.99 ERA. What a performance. 7 innings, 2 hits, a shutout, and they sweep the Pirates. They're only a game and a half back of the Mutts.
All right. Serena Williams,
Most of them are Notre Dame fans, too, probably.
Serena Williams coming to Huntsville. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow.